Welcome to the new episode of Fix Your Pain series. In today's session, we're going to look at tennis elbow and golfer's elbow. What is it? How do we fix it? And what all do you need to do to make sure you can prevent it from happening? Okay, all right. So, even before we get into how to fix tennis elbow or golfer's elbow, let's first understand why it is so common and what exactly it is. So, I'm going to break it down into two parts. First is your tennis elbow. So, tennis elbow is basically to understand any of this, let's understand the anatomy of our elbow. So, if you look at your elbow, this is two bones, okay? The one on your thumb is called as radius, one towards your little finger is called as ulna, and these two bones are making a elbow joint with your humerus. Now, right at your elbow joint, there's something called as a common extensor origin, which is towards the side of your thumb, from where all the muscles of the extensor of the wrist originate from that point. And then there is a common flexor origin. So all the muscles that do flexion of your wrist originate on that common flexor origin. So, tennis elbow or the lateral epicondylitis is the pain around the outer side of the elbow, and golfer's elbow or medial epicondylitis is pain around the inner side of your elbow. Why do they happen? So, tennis elbow happens because of repetitive, forceful extension movement, like a backhand in tennis, which is why it is very common in that sport, and hence the name tennis elbow. While as golfer's elbow happens because excessive wrist flexion, which is what happens in a non-leading hand in golf. When you play that golf shot, when you end up duffing the ground, when you hit any thicker grass or the ground beneath, that is when there's an excessive flexion force, and which is what causes a golfer's elbow. Now, these are not common only in these sports. So any racket sport that you play, you have a higher chance, like badminton, table tennis, now even pickleball, paddle. In all the racket sports, there are higher chances of getting a tennis elbow. If you, in your day-to-day routine, if you have anything that requires you to constantly do extension of the elbow, even that improves that kind of aggravates your chances of having a tennis elbow. Similarly, if you're in your daily routine, if you end up doing a lot of wrist heavy movements, you have higher chances of getting a golfer's elbow. How do we fix it? So, number one, uh, the most common treatment that you will hear is get a elbow brace, a tennis elbow brace, or a golfer's elbow brace. You must have seen, or you, if you guys have experienced this before, you might have used used that tennis elbow brace. But most people end up using it wrong. So first, what we're going to look at is how to wear a brace properly. I'm going to share my screen. All right. Okay, so this is the brace all of you must have seen, and generally this is how most people wear it. Okay, but there is a little more science to wearing this brace than just snapping it around on your forearm. So now, if you have tennis elbow, the way you wear it is different. If you have golfer's elbow, the way you wear it is different. Now I'm going to show you what is the right way of wearing it. First, let's understand the positioning of it. So you see that first line, that is the joint line of your elbow. Just two fingers below that is where you're going to wear that brace. So it has to be two fingers below or an inch below your elbow. So keep your hand. Now this is for tennis elbow. Now, every brace that you will see will have either it's round or rectangular. There will be some kind of a groove or a structure which you will find on the brace. Now, if you have tennis elbow, that groove exactly has to land onto your radius. So right where you see in the video, and then take a help of a armrest of a chair and give a upward push. The idea is you have to push this radius slightly forward. or upward. When you push this radius up, it relaxes that muscle called as extensor carpi radialis brevis, or ECRB. And which is why it's important that that groove lands exactly at this point. And when you wear it, there has to be a little bit of pull onto that radius so it relaxes that muscle. So you can use the edge of that armrest to create that pressure onto the radius. Hold that pressure, feel that pressure onto your forearm, then loop this through. Give a vertical pull to that belt so it is going to pull that radius forward, and then tighten it. As soon as you wear it the right way, you're going to start feeling your elbow to be a lot more free. Okay, the other way, before I show you how to do how to wear the brace for golfer's elbow, the easy way to check if you have tennis elbow or golfer's elbow, there's something called as a Cousins test for tennis elbow and reverse Cousins test for golfer's elbow. So all you have to do is keep your forearm supported on a table or something. Your wrist is in the air. Resist the extension of a wrist. So resist this movement and try to extend your wrist against that resistance. Now, when you do this, that resisted extension gives you pain somewhere around the outer side of your elbow. That means you do have tennis elbow. Similarly, when you try to resist the flexion of the wrist, so give some resistance, try to do wrist flexion against that resistance. And when you do that, if you feel some pain around the inner side of the elbow, that means you have golfer's elbow. So you can do this test and understand which one you have, and based on that, you can use the brace. So we just saw how to wear the brace for tennis elbow. Now let's see for golfer's elbow what you're going to do. So golfer's elbow, the positioning of that groove is going to be on the inner side of your forearm. Make sure you use the edge of the armrest to create a pressure onto the ulna. And then rest of the process is the same. But you have to flip that groove. Then give a vertical pull. The ulna is pulled up. And then tighten the brace. As soon as you do this and then try to do your wrist extension or wrist flexion, you will see a considerable difference in that pain. Now that is how you will know if you have worn the brace right. As soon as you wear the brace right, the extension which was painful before, the intensity of pain will considerably reduce. And that's how you know if you've worn that brace correctly. And if you have this tennis elbow or golfer's elbow, it's important that whenever you're active, make sure you're continuing to wear this brace. All right. Now, how do we fix it? This is brace. Just this is important for you to protect your elbow and make sure that it doesn't worsen. Now, what exercises can we do to improve it? Now, these exercises are good for everybody, even if you don't have tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, these exercises will help. If you have tennis elbow and golfer's elbow, these exercises will help you fix that pain. So we're going to basically do 6 exercises with an equipment called as flex bar. I'll show you in a second what that equipment is. Okay, so this green bar that you see, this is called as TheraBand Flex Bar. We will share the Amazon link of this product with you so you can easily order it. And we're going to do all the forearm and wrist muscle strengthening with it, because stronger your forearm muscles and wrist muscle are, less chances you have of getting tennis elbow or golfer's elbow. And if you have that pain, these exercises, strengthening all those muscles, is how you fix it. So exercise number 1. Just give me 1 second. Okay, all right. So now we're gonna look at how to do these exercises. Exercise number 1 is wrist extension. So you basically hold that flex bar straight. You start with both the wrist pointing forwards, and then you twist it all the way around so that your wrists are overlapping each other. This is the muscles where you're going to feel the tension and contraction. These are the muscles you'll be using. You're going to do about 15 to 20 repetitions of each of this exercise. Now, second exercise, you start with uh, a wrist overlapped each over each other, and then you're going to twist it the other way around. This is for wrist flexion. And the inner muscles on your forearm, those are the muscles you are targeting here. So make sure as you twist it in, you feel those muscles working. So this is how we do wrist flexion and extension. Now we're going to do supination. So this movement of the forearm. So you just hold it at 90-degree. Make sure your wrist stays neutral. There should not be any deviation on it. And then try to bend it as much as you can. Eventually, the both ends of the flex bar should meet each other. You do 15 to 20 repetitions of that, then flip it. Now you're going to start doing supine. You see what's happening? The elbows are lifting up. That's not what it's supposed to happen. Make sure your arms are constantly touching your body. Don't let your wrist deviate. Now you see her forearms are going down. So maintain that 90-degree angle at the elbow and make sure your arms are sticking to your body. You'll see me correcting. Yeah, so make sure that there's a 90-degree angle at the elbow and then try to bring both the ends of the flex bar together. So those were exercise number 3 and 4. This is exercise number 5 with flex bar. This is called as ulnar deviation. So you're going to sit, keep the flex bar on a bed, on a table, and then try to break it in half. That's the direction you're going to move in. And the ulnar side, or the side of the wrist towards your little finger, that is where you should feel those muscles working, where you see my fingers. That's exercise number 5. This is called as ulnar deviation. And now the last one with this is for radial deviation, the opposite movement of what we saw seen earlier. Keep the bar down, hold the bar, and just lift it up. These are the muscles below your thumb is where you're going to feel the muscles working. And so these 6 exercises we have done to improve the strength of the wrist muscles and the forearm muscles, which are very, very important to strengthen to fix your tennis elbow and golfer's elbow. Biceps and triceps are another muscles which you should focus on strengthening, but generally these 6 muscles are ignored as a part of rehab. That's why I wanted to bring your attention to this. Our next exercise is very easy and very interesting. This is also good for anybody. Generally, as you age, your grip strength declines. Weaker the grip, higher chances of having elbow injuries. That's why strengthening your grip is very important. And this is the most effective and efficient way of strengthening your grip. All you need is a piece of newspaper, grip it, lift your hand up, and crumple it into a smallest possible ball that you can. And as you crumple it, you see, we are doing all the movements. There are about 20 muscles just below your wrist. Just crumpling this paper using all those 20 muscles, which is why this is one of the most all-round exercise that you can do to improve your grip strength and endurance. So crumple that piece of paper into the smallest ball possible. Initially, when you start doing it, you're going to feel a sense of fatigue setting in, but that's okay. Push through it. Once you have gotten into a ball, then you're going to use your fingers to open that paper up completely. And I want you to do 3 repetitions of this back to back. And once you have done 3 repetitions, that paper is going to get very soft and it will stop giving you resistance, and just discard that paper. Next day, when you do this exercise, get a fresh piece of newspaper. Newspaper is important because you want something large where your fingers and palm, they really need to stretch out and then exert energy, because we want those muscles to feel the resistance and we want those muscles to work. Okay, perfect. And just by doing these simple exercises, you can fix your tennis elbow. Now, there's one possible thing where you already have a very acute pain, where even basic movements like drinking a cup of tea or lifting a glass full of water or just holding your phone has also become painful. Now, that is stage 4 injury for a tennis elbow or a golfer's elbow. So, if you are at that level, then you can't start the exercises right away. You'll have to rest it, ice it, get some local ultrasound from a physiotherapist near you. Dry needling really helps. Some myofascial releases really help. So make sure that you fix that acute pain. If you are in a stage 3 or stage 4 of tennis elbow or golfer's elbow, where just lifting a glass of water is also painful, then you want to use some pain relieving modalities first and then start with these exercises. But let's say you've just started seeing symptoms of tennis elbow, or it is in a grade 1 or grade 2 extent of injury, then you can right away start these exercises, and this is really going to help you. Okay, and that's how you can fix your tennis elbow and golfer's elbow. And I completely agree with Nikhil's suggestion. If you're reading a digital newspaper, please don't crush your iPads.
This is a great session as always, Saurabh. Thank you. There don't seem to be any question today. So I think that's because the explanation was so uh, easy and so clear that it's not surprising. But I guess a lot of people are giving a thumbs up. So I'm assuming it's all been interesting. There's only one, I guess, from Shweta. Can it happen due to phone use? Uh, there's
So not in particular, unless your phone usage where you're using like a bigger, like an iPad or a very heavy device, that can cause this, but just a phone usage will not.
and
Generally, because of phone usage and the thumb opposition, like if you end up doing your screen is too big and you need to really overextend your thumb, you get something called as a decurving stenosynovitis, so pain around the thumb, not around the elbow.
yeah. What is tennis elbow? Is another question.
I think once we might have joined a little later.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
so you can just watch the recording when we put it up, and it'll explain that.
yeah, yeah,
Sir Kumu. Um, the all the stuff that happens when you use keyboards, sort of.
yeah.
Is there a specific set of exercises for that?
So see, these exercises will also, so the most common issue that happens because of use of keyboard is something called as a carpal tunnel syndrome, because you're constantly keeping your wrist in this position while you type. And here there are a tunnel between 8 bones of carpals, and there is a nerve which is passing by which gets compressed. These exact same exercises will fix that problem as well.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you all